Man, I still can't get over that Whitechapel concert we went to. For those who don't know, we went and saw it was Whitechapel, Archspire, Signs of the Swarm, and Entheos. I'm going to think back to that fucking concert with nostalgia later on.
No, it was the same for me. Yeah, just so everybody knows, the episode we're doing today, death metal adjacent, let's call it episodes, as one of
Yeah,
our fresh bake episodes.
I already thought of a name for it. Technically Death.
Yeah, that sounds good. So technically death. We're going through our favorite examples of death metal with focus on technical and progressive
Mhm.
styles, but I do have a couple that are just like solid death metal.
I don't even know how to describe it, but like seeing Archspire was just like life changing. It was like this wave of nostalgia came over me over a band I had never seen before, but it was like this feeling of this is why I'm into metal is for shit like this.
Yeah, 100%. Something I really like about them, they haven't always had this. This is a recent development for them from looking at their history,
Mhm.
is their style, how they approach it. Like, they didn't wear all black tees. Most of them shaved their heads and got haircuts, you know? And I've seen old pictures where they were all long hair, black tee dudes. They kind of changed their image a lot. Not every band can do this, but image is very important, I think.
Mhm.
I've been harping on this for a while. You got to look the part, but you also got to not look like you're everybody else. And they did a really good job of not looking like they're everybody else. I can't really label it. They just seemed real, like a rapper, like gangster rapper is to rap. They seemed like they were just real musicians playing a genre that they just fucking love,
Yeah.
and like, and their musicianship shows in that. It's like they don't need to be edgy looking on stage to be who they are. They're fucking crazy.
Well, what I was fucking surprised the most about because obviously the drums just go a million miles a second. The whole band
Yep.
does. But if you guys go see Archspire, I highly recommend getting some earbuds of some sort to maybe dole out the DBs for you because that shit will blare you the fuck out. But having said that, I could still not only could I hear Ollie pristinely when he was doing vocals, but the guitars sounded fucking amazing. Everything sounded or sat at such a good level, even in a live setting. Now I know that varies from, venue to venue depending on what their setup is, but a lot of that I would probably attribute to whoever's running sound for them just knows what the fuck they're doing to a
Yeah.
T.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, but maybe it was that venue, dude, because all the bands sounded so fucking good, dude. And I was pleasantly surprised by Entheos because I was excited to see them. And I mean, they fucking held up. They were awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Cheney had so much energy, dude. It was fucking awesome to see. And Ollie's such a nice guy. I talked to him for a little bit. He's so humble, so nice. I already had like a good idea of like who they were as people, but that just made me even more of a fan is when they're just so wholesome. And Cheney was the same way. She was just like she took the time to like get everybody's names that she was talking to, give them the time of day. I actually gave her and the drummer of Entheos is actually a multi-instrumentalist. So he does all the guitar and pretty much all the music for Entheos. I gave them both our Super Metal Bros shirts that we had that night. I had like two left and I was like I want them to have them. And I gave fucking Cheney like all I had left was like 2XL. And I gave Cheney, who's this fucking like itty bitty girl, dude, a
Yeah.
2X. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know, dude. I want you to have it. I was like you can sleep in it, I guess. They probably toss that shit out immediately. Like,
Maybe. I agree with you, man. It was a freaking crazy. I'm still reeling on it, thinking about how great it was. It was the best concert I've been to in probably in a long time. I
well, and
don't know
it's
how long.
funny that you had brought up like the look of what I guess tech death is, like the aesthetic. Cause
Mhm.
I always just associate like anybody I've ever seen, especially like frontmen in whether it's progressive death or tech death, they're all bald dudes. I swear to God, they're all fucking bald. In fact, there was this dude, I suppose he can be the mosh pit legend of that concert. This was the most fucking tech death dude I'd ever seen. He had the goatee, completely like shaved head, bald, with a like probably like a straight razor even, but wearing a full like suit and tie and just fucking rocking the fuck out, dude. I
Yeah.
was like, that is the most tech death person ever.
It's almost math, but it's cleaner. You know,
Yeah,
the math kids are like the dirty nerds. These are the clean nerds. You know,
yeah.
the bow tie, like he took a bath and he was ready to go for Archspire.
I'm willing to bet he just came from fucking work. He's like, I'm not missing this shit, dude. But
Yeah.
watching Archspire was just fucking mind blowing. There was like fucking drool just running down my mouth because I was like mouth breathing, just fucking stupefied watching him. You know what I was, dude? You remember? I can't remember which fucking RoboCop was it. There's that scene where he's like fucking RoboCop's reading Miranda rights to the fucking dead person. Yeah,
Yeah. You
I
have a
was
right to
totally
remain
that
silent.
dead dude. You have a right to an attorney, and dude's just like fucking like,
No,
dude.
my favorite I think it was RoboCop 2 when they tried to make another RoboCop, like a better RoboCop,
Yeah,
and it was the criminal Kane, I think was the name of the character.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And like but the screen was like some shitty 80s animation, you
yeah,
know? It is
yeah,
like their idea of what good graphics would look like in the future. And
yeah,
like they had that like drug shit that they were injecting to the robots. And every time like they would give it to Kane, like you know, like the chick that was like the creator of the robot would like tease him with it, like
yeah,
trying to give
yeah,
him
yeah.
like some heroin. I don't know what the fuck it was,
And then
some
like
like
his
juice.
animated face would come on, like of him like post nut, like
Yeah.
it'd be an animation of him fucking like
Yeah.
stroking out, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was always like like doing some fucking nasty face. Like it was fucking weird as shit. And how like they sexualized it, you know? Like she's like, oh, like putting it in him,
yeah,
you
like
know, like
injecting it like in his slot,
yeah.
like he has a special slot. Dude,
Yeah.
I was thinking about how funny it would be like whoever like modeled like RoboCop. When he takes off the helmet, he already looks like a fucking like one of those like magic wands that girls get off to, like just like the top of his head. But then I was like thinking like it'd be fun. I was like, whoever made him like is like I'm sure someone installed like a secret flashlight in him. They're like, Murphy, in my office now. He's like fucking opens up the RoboCop flashlight. He's like, thank you for your cooperation.
Yeah. It was like what was that TV show? I think it was like Humans 2.0 or whatever, where they had like the robots that were basically human. Had that like
I
Asian
don't recall
chick.
that.
It was like where everybody's got robots in their house, and the main character robot, she's like a sexy Asian chick. The dad finds that there's a code that you can say to it, so like you could have sex with it. And
Uh-huh.
then the mom like goes into like the logs and finds out that he like had sex with the robot, and she's all pissed off about it. But it was just like kind of weird because she's like normally has like free will, and he's like saying random words like shopping cart, banana, you know, like shit like that. And all of a sudden
It's
she
like a
just bends
fucking
over.
like you're fucking a speaking spell, dude. Like
Yeah, I think it's called Humans 2.0 is the name of that show.
it's a good time for tech death, I feel like, because yeah, the machines are gonna take over the world. All right. Anyways, that was a fun rant.
Yeah.
Let's get into the tech death shit.
Yeah. So before we get into it, let's further explain exactly what we're doing here. So this is our death metal episode. This basically we're choosing 5 or more songs, clips, and either of us don't know what clips that we chose. And the reason we did this is because we both actually historically are not into these genres. So we explored it for the last, I'd say, like month, and we chose our favorite highlights that came out of that. So there is no real rules to this. It's just highlighting something that we thought was awesome. Maybe trying to do a little guess that song or guess that band. but also as we go through this, we're just highlighting things that we think are cool. That is really the plan. It's death metal, progressive death metal, and technical death metal, basically anything death metal adjacent. And this is how I define death metal. It is, if you're new to the scene, it's deathcore without hardcore influence. It's basically what death metal is. So if your only frame of reference is deathcore, take the hardcore out of deathcore and you got death metal. It's
Yeah.
basically the same otherwise. But I would say that death metal, especially on the technical and progressive side, is probably, as far as guitars go, as far as just technicality in general, these are the top musicians of our time as far as extreme music goes. Like I don't think you're gonna, like, you could just go into any playlist in Spotify, look up, technical death metal. Every musician in it is going to be top tier. And because they're so top tier, sometimes their music, I think, isn't as palatable because it's not as simple. It's very complicated music that goes a lot of different directions. So a lot of people it doesn't resonate with everybody, which is probably why it took me so long to get into it.
Which is kind of a shame, dude, because I feel like if people just took the time, I think they would find a lot that they would enjoy. You know what I'm, to be honest.
So good transition. I'll start it off.
Okay.
Because I think I have the perfect starter for this. So if you trace back death metal, really, it goes back to mainly 4 bands out of Florida that were huge. I don't know if I can name them. I think it's Pestilence, Death, Cynic, and I can't remember the 4th band off the top of my head right now. But those were the major ones. They had band members that went back and forth between them. They were like Florida scene. That's really where death metal came from. Of those bands, each one of them had a style that kind of turned into what we know now as like technical death metal, progressive death metal, probably grindcore too. Grindcore is pretty much death metal as well. You had the more grindy, thrashier version, you had the very progressive version, and you had the super technical version. And those all grew into the bands that we know today. So having that be said, because we don't actually say the clip before we play it, we see if the other person could guess it. I'll start off with the first one, but it is going to be in that vein. This is old as shit.
I probably won't be able to guess it then.
All right, I'll go ahead and stop it there. So
yeah, I have no idea. I wasn't a death metal boy.
So I think that song came out on the album name is Human, and it came out in 1991. So you were 1 year old when that came out, and that was the band Death, which are the godfathers of progressive death metal.
I certainly know of Death. Never really listened to their music.
So I had never listened to them. The name of that song is Lack of Comprehension. I started at about the 1:15 mark, because right in that first like 5 seconds, they just went into that breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking like back to 1991, right?
Fucking trailblazers, dude.
Yeah, dude. And if you listen, they have another song called Crystal Mountain. There's a bunch of them. That Human album was their like breakout album, where they really went progressive. That's where like progressive death metal, according to a lot of people, started.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was just a good starter. If you want to know about the history of death metal, the band Death is the history of death metal. They did it all early on. They weren't the only ones doing it, but they were definitely the trailblazers. I've listened to all those bands now, those 4, and I would say Death, in my opinion, was the most trailblazing out of the 4. The other ones were doing more just like grindcore-ish, what led to Cannibal Corpse corpse type stuff, a lot more
Yeah.
high pitched vocals and stuff like that. But I thought it was really good. So that's my
No,
first
I
sample, goes
dug
all
it,
the way
dude.
back to 1991.
I'm excited to like explore all the eras. And I mean, thinking about it now, I mean, we were so like fucking closed off because there was that, that niche of metalcore, which I mean, I still say we were big fans during the golden age of metalcore that I call it, which is, those early Parkway days and, prior to that. But it's so nice to be open to all these different subgenres and really actually be digging it. For the longest time, I didn't know if I was going to be able to get past like not hearing like the breakdowns that I expect and still
Yeah.
enjoying the music. But that's where I'm at now. So fuck yeah. Alrighty. So I've got the next one.
Ooh, I like that transition, man.
This one goes on for a couple minutes.
Ooh, I like
All right, pause it there. Yeah, so
That's pretty
that
dope. Actually, so I have no clue who that is. Actually, listening to it now and doing these fresh bakes, I'm realizing that you definitely have a solo style that you lean to, because
yeah.
that had a lot of familiarity with Delusions of Grandeur.
Mm-hmm.
You like boomer bends, dude.
Oh, I fucking love Benz, dude.
Yeah, you're a boomer bender. Yeah,
I don't give a fuck, dude.
that was pretty dope, though.
So yeah, I wouldn't expect you to get that one. That is a band that sadly, it's actually really sad. So this is a band from somewhere in Europe. They're called Blind Oracle. The name of the song is Lichen, and they basically had this EP and then a single, and then they just called it quits after this. And I was like, so much fucking lost potential. That's always the worst. Who knows? Maybe they'll come back, but I doubt it. So yeah, that was Lichen by Blind Oracle.
That was dope.
You can hear that blend between, obviously there was a lot of techie shit in there, but there was a lot of progressive fucking vibes in there as
Yeah.
well. It was just kind of all over the place and chaotic, but probably agree with you. Certain melodies just resonate with me. I couldn't tell you what they were because I don't know theory for shit, but certain techniques and melodies.
I don't know if there's like a theory way to explain that, but there's a certain guitar tone I'm starting to notice that you like, especially in soloing. It's kind of like a smoother. So I'm pretty sure that people achieve it by, I'll go a little technical for 30 seconds on guitar. So if for anybody who doesn't know, typically guitars have a 3 selector switch on them, and that determines what pickup. This is a 2 pickup guitar. Typically that determines what pickup it uses. So one would be the lowest one, the second setting being both of them at the same time, your pickups.
Oh yeah, you mean that little knob like
Yeah,
at the bottom that okay, yeah.
So when normally you're going to play in the one setting, and that's your pickup that's lowest on the guitar towards the butt butt of the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you want that sound on guitar, it's like a buttery sound, like where everything's kind of smooth, has a little bit more bass to it. You go to the bridge pickup, and that's the one that's by flipping it all the way the other way, and that's how you get that sound. That's something like, you know, Stevie Ray Vaughan used to use a lot. That's why I said boomer bends. It's kind of an old school way of doing it. People use that a lot, but it gets you that smooth sound that comes out of it. I'm not sure if that's what they're doing there, but that's the sound that it reminds me of.
Gotcha. All right.
Anyways, we're going to go on to the next one. So this one's from me, and I don't have an order to mine, so I'm just going to choose at random.
Neither do I.
Everyone after this, just as a caveat, if you will, to everybody, is that I don't know anything about these bands beyond Death. There's a couple I know more about, but for the most part, like, these are bands I just heard something that I fucking loved. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go to this one. This is one of my favorite Alien style solos that I've heard. And actually, this band, most of their music, I don't resonate with as much as this one song.
Okay.
So let me bring that up.
How old are we talking?
This is definitely in the last 10 years.
Whoa, what the fuck, dude?
We could stop it there. I just wanted to
No
show
fucking
off that.
idea.
So that is the band is Alkaloid, and the song is Azagthoth, which is, I think, like a demon name, if I'm interpreting that correctly. But just that, the reason I highlighted that is a grand example of what came out of, I don't know, technical progressive death metal, whatever you want to call it, of these like alien solos that were just like wild.
Real quick, all you actually kids that want to school us, dude, tell us in the comments what these actually what fucking genres they belong to.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're more like on the progressive side. You know, that band I think came after Slayer, but it's the pre-death metal influences that led to that led to like things like Kerry King with his fucking wild ass solos that almost like is in spite of the music. And that one, like, he even had like some like South Park intro tapping, like chicken picking. I don't know what the fuck he was doing, but
I was gonna say wild. It almost sounded like he was using like a fucking kill switch to just like cut off some of those notes midway.
He's definitely tapping with his pick, I think, on the board. I might be wrong though. School me.
Yeah, you're probably right. But yeah, that solo was so far departed from what like the music was to start with, because you had all those like very tribal fucking drums, those tribal drum rolls happening, and which were fucking awesome. No, I dig shit like that. I like when they blend fucking two incompatible things, dude.
Yeah,
and somehow make it compatible. Yeah, that was fucking wild, dude. I will preface this that say pretty much all my clips do incorporate a solo of some sort.
Yeah, I mean,
it's kind of hard not to when you're exploring death and tech death, progressive death, in my opinion. Those are the moments that are going to shine the most. So you might get this one. We'll see. Yeah, this one, man, this is Spin's been around for a minute, but this is some newer stuff to my understanding within the progressive tech death sphere. So here we go.
It's definitely progressive.
pause it there. So that is Into Embers by Allegion.
Okay. It actually had some similarities to Fallujah in sound, but I
Hmm.
didn't think it was Fallujah. Yeah, a lot of those bands have the progressive death metal bands, like as of late, I've noticed, have kind of the same ethereal sound.
Hmm.
It just kind of reminds me of like big universe, like, you know, like any Fallujah cover recently. It's all like galaxies and like
Yeah, yeah,
crazy
yeah.
DMT tripping stuff. That's what it kind of reminds me of in that sound, but it's dope. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I actually don't think I've seen them hit my Spotify, but I haven't actually like dug into them yet. So, and I love.
I will say some of these I actually found on listening through a Tech Death fucking playlist on Spotify. Some of them are my own. I would say half of them are my own picks that I had, because I went down a Tech Death rabbit hole, trying to think, probably around 2013 or so.
Okay.
It just didn't hold my attention, but I found some good shit back then. So, but this is one I found on a playlist that I really enjoyed. So, all right, moving on.
Okay, so before we go into this one, I saw a meme on it was Facebook or something like that that said that deathcore is just death metal with better vocals, and I wanted to reply to it that death metal is just deathcore with better basses, because if you notice in death metal, like you can hear the
Yeah.
basses have solos, like they definitely have better basses. If you're a bassist and I think death metal is more of a bassist game than anything else, especially
Mm,
historically.
yeah.
This is a really popular song in death metal for a death metal song. So let's go ahead and just play it. And here we go. Bass solo. All right. We can stop it there. So at some point, the bassist just said, fuck you guys, and started doing his own thing.
Yeah, holy
That-
shit, dude.
yeah. So that, you have any
I'm gonna
idea?
take a crack at it, dude. At first I thought it might be like older Fallujah, but I don't think that's it. I wanna say maybe Beyond Creation.
Yep. It's Beyond Creation, Earthborn Evolution, man.
Ding 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 ding.
So I have not dug into that band until recently, and oh my god, are they freaking amazing musicians? And that's one of those bands where I was talking about the bassist. He's insane. Like, I don't know if you were actually watching the video on that.
No, I was trying not
Watching
to.
yeah, it's okay. The shit that he was doing though is just like insane with his fingers. I rarely see bassists do shit like that. So I
Well,
thought
it
it was
was
good.
fucking nuts, dude, because at first when obviously the guitar solo had to have its moment before the bassist just shit on him, I guess. But
Yeah.
I could still hear the bass like following along with the guitar
Yep.
like during the solo, dude. I mean, more of a compliment, but then you could hear it like come up in the mix. That was definitely a professional mix and master that they
Yeah.
did right there. Because I mean, he
Well, I
wasn't
mean,
sitting that high before that, but
that YouTube video has 1.1 million views, which for this
damn.
genre, that's pretty insane. So
Yeah, no, that was fucking sick, dude. I'm gonna have to dive more into Earthborn Evolution. Okay, fuck yeah. All right.
it's on you.
You might get this next one. You definitely know about this next band. So this is at about the I'm gonna set this around the 4-minute mark. Just make sure we get everything.
Wow, that's Entheos. There's that bassist.
Yeah, we'll pause it there.
Yeah, that was Entheos.
At Theos, yeah.
Yeah. That album got drowned out by just the great releases this year.
Yeah, it did.
And it was a fucking solid album, man. It's still,
It really was.
It's really good. After seeing them live too, it kind of put it higher on my list too.
Yeah. Well, dude, but that top line guitar, that kind of goes into like your alien style solos that you're talking about. But that
Yeah.
tone that he uses for the top line guitar, the lead, is peppered all throughout the album. It's that
Yeah.
same kind of tone. But yeah, I just love it. And to learn the fact that the drummer, and I forget his name, I feel like a piece of shit, but plays the drums live, basically does all the instruments for that band, is fucking incredible, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Cheney stands on her own 2 feet as a vocalist, and I mean, she kills it live, dude. So much energy. But yeah, they're basically a 2-piece. Yeah.
They have touring musicians, but between the two of them, they do everything else. Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. All right. So
that was Entheos. The song track is The Setting Sun.
Very nice. What's the name of that album?
Time Will Take Us All.
Yeah.
I actually got that on
released this year.
vinyl. I was pretty stoked about it. Got it signed by Cheney.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. That's a good idea. All right, I'm going to take it over. I don't know if you'll get this one or not. All right, and so this is one I chose just because the whole sequence they go through here is, I think, friggin' ridiculous. So here we go.
I've heard it before. Rivers of Nile.
Yep. Yeah, I'll stop it there.
Them coming in with that sax, dude.
Yeah, yeah, there's like it sounded like a sax, then there's like a bassist that comes in, he does a little bit of a solo. Then there's like the guitar, and the guitar is really chuggy.
Mhm.
Probably more chuggy, more deathcore adjacent than like most of the other stuff. Like it had almost like a hardcore feel to it.
Mm.
They're like one of the OGs as well, Rivers and Nihil. They've been around for a while, and they're just sick, man. Great musicians, and I just love the ethereal, style that they have. It just brings you to different worlds as you listen to their music. So
Well, I mean, that was a really solid album where owls know my name, and the
yeah,
concept is just cool as fuck, dude. I think we've talked about this before where like, and it's not trying to trash on like deathcore or metalcore, but I would say deathcore being like the worst culprit of it, but we have this shift of, and I don't want to blame Will Ramos for it, but like, where metal bands are just, there's so much emphasis on these vocal parts, and then obviously with deathcore you got to have the chugs and the breakdown that I don't know, sometimes I feel like the musicianship falls flat in certain things because the main emphasis and the main concern is the vocals and that drop before the break into the breakdown. Now a lot of times with deathcore where I mean, there's so much soul put into death and tech death, as far as musicianship goes.
yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah,
really, they do it for the love of it because they're certainly not doing it for the money, dude. I can tell
yeah,
you that.
yeah. They're definitely not. All right, it's on you, man.
Alrighty, here we go. I'm pretty sure you'll get this next one.
Okay.
This is going to be just over a minute, right around the 320 mark. And again, I'm sure you'll get this instantly.
Sounds like death metal ocarina of time.
Go ahead, pause it there.
Okay. Yeah, it's like I said earlier, it sounds like death metal ocarina of time.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it has that feel to it. I don't know who that was. I think I've heard
Really?
it, but yeah, yeah.
That was, yeah, Autotheist Movement to Emancipate by the Faceless.
I should have known that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I half listened to that. I knew it sounded familiar.
This was the band that really kind of started my path down progressive and tech death a little bit like years ago. And it's really sad to see because again, they've gone through so many lineups because Michael Keene's a fucking smackhead, which is unfortunate because the dude is fucking extremely talented on guitar, dude.
Yeah.
It sucks to see a band just dissolve, but he's like the fucking Johnny Craig of fucking tech death, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Faceless, I mean, it's hard not to like them. I mean, they're very palatable, like sounding for death metal,
Yeah.
progressive death metal. And then worth mentioning that a lot of the previous members of Faceless, are in
The Zenith Passage.
which is releasing an album here pretty soon. And I think that's going to be for that genre, is probably going to be one of the strongest releases this year.
Oh, I'd absolutely agree. Even from a songwriting standpoint, that's another thing that Michael Keene really fucking excels at, dude, is like what he chooses to incorporate in his sounds. Like I'm sure you heard at the end there that almost like jewelry box, like toy kind of sound.
Yeah.
that just gives it that like eerie fucking feeling to the music. And he has shit like that. He has sax on this album. This was by far my favorite album by the Faceless, and the lineup that he had during this was solid. I think they pretty much left right after this album was released. Again, kind of sad to see. I hope fucking Michael gets it together, man. But other than that,
All right, I'll take the next one. You're going to get this one right away. Completely positive. Here we go.
Borrow Eater.
No.
No? Oh. Fucking Archspire, dude. What the fuck? That fucking bass, too.
Hell yeah. All right, we can stop it there. Yeah, so I chose that. Obviously, that's Archspire. The song is Calamus Will Animate, and that's off the Relentless Mutation album, which was, I believe, their last album before their current. And this is the album that basically put them on the map.
Yeah, you threw me off when you said fucking you're gonna know who this is immediately. I was like, okay. For some reason I just had Sorrow Eater in mind because I know that's been your jam lately.
I mean, you got all these vocals, those fast, rappy friggin' vocals that he does.
And he actually can do that shit live.
Oh, yeah,
Which
he
is
can.
fucking nuts, dude.
You know what's funny, though? I don't know any other band like Archspire.
Yeah.
They stand on
sure.
their own. They're technical. They got those really crazy like time signatures and things like that. Their guitars are so clean sounding.
Mhm.
Like it almost sounds like they're not distorted in some instances. And then all these like rap death metal vocals, just like I don't know anybody else that's doing that. If there is, put it in the comments because I would love to have another band like this.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? 2 months ago plus, I was an Archspire hater. I didn't get it. And then I
wasn't. No.
I didn't know because I had only seen Dean Lamb on YouTube. I had never actually tried listening to them and understanding what it was. And then once I listened, because I was going to that concert and then seeing them in concert, I went, oh, I'm a fucking idiot. Like I missed out on something amazing, but luckily I'm here now.
Well, and actually, I'll retract my statement because when I had first heard Archspire, I wasn't a huge fan of the rapid fire, like death metal vocals that, Ollie delivers, but it grew on me over time because it's like, it's insane. Like, how the fuck do you do that? And then to replicate it live, like, it's just fucking, I mean, they're just master musicians, dude. Like, I'm almost envious of like just how fucking talented and good they are. And they're the nicest fucking people, dude. I love it. I'm not sure if you'll get this one. Okay, so this one's interesting that I'm about to play. So this one is definitely very genty for, I would say, they incorporate a lot of shit in their songs, dude. It's not just one thing. It's like fucking Baskin Robbins where they just threw all fucking 31 flavors at you.
Sexy moods. Ooh, I like that guitar.
Pause it there.
So there's only one band I know of that even sounds close to that. I don't know who it is, but I'll take a stab at it. Is it Black Crown Initiate
No.
or Initiative? No.
So this is another band that kind of came and went. I remember this album that they put out kind of blew up. I think around 2013, 2014, somewhere around there. It blew up for like a really short moment and then they just kind of like disappeared. It felt like. So this is a band called Hung, Hung, and the title of the song is Mr. McGroover.
Okay. Interesting.
The name of the album is it's spelled DJ, like gent, like Jurassic World is the
All
name of
right.
but there's a lot of there was some tech death, there's obviously progressive, the guitars were down tuned to shit, so it's very palm mute gent going on in the guitars, dude. And like I thought it was cool, dude. Fucking I would like to hear more of those blends, to be honest, because I'm a fucking gent boy. I'm a gent Chad.
Yeah. I was
So
gonna say that was super genty, and actually, I felt like it was a little mathy too.
yeah.
Like there was some math elements in there, and I've noticed as I've been digging more into like math metal, I guess we'll call it, like the Dillinger Escape Plan, whole thread. There's a lot of similarities between progressive death metal and math. They kind of float back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great pick, man. I'm gonna check them out more because that was pretty cool. I like the people who go like into like kind of the poppier stuff and then come back into some real extreme shit.
Yeah.
It's like bring in some of the non-believers and then just
Yeah.
completely destroy them where they think they just sold their soul or some shit.
Yeah.
I like that type of stuff.
It's like a fucking angler fish, dude. And then you get to the lights all poppy, and then you get to the face, and it's fucking death metal about to consume you.
Exactly. I got one more. You got one? You got another one?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We both got one more. Here we go. This is my last one.
That is definitely Fallujah. All right, we can stop it there. Yeah, I mean, so Fallujah for me is my gateway drug to this whole entire genre. Yeah.
Their sound, I mean, you hear Fallujah, you know it's Fallujah. They
Yeah.
just have this sound, this ethereal sound to them that's so signature them. I like their whole aesthetic. I want every album on vinyl to put on my wall because their album covers are always fucking amazing. Even the one to this one is the chick, like the topless chick with the like weird dark dude busting out from behind her, and it's so cool. Every single thing about them I think is cool. And they're probably, I think, one of the greatest acts to come out in a long time, and probably pretty they are pretty well rated in the community, but probably underrated in the grand scheme of things because they're just putting good shit out there.
What are the chances that you think, now that we're seeing obviously more people that are, I would say, like, let's use Sleep Token as like the gateway drug for people, right? That are bringing in a lot of the pop kids. And
Yeah.
then they start going down, the stepping stones, if you will, of metal, getting into more extreme things, much like anybody. It's what happened to us.
Yeah.
What are the chances that you think that more people might be brought into this style, you think?
I don't know, man. It takes a long time to acquire this taste.
Mm,
I mean, let's talk about Sleep Token. You got to get over like all the people in the world that are like, I just don't know why they're yelling. I can't understand what they're saying. You
mhm.
know, it's like, motherfucker, most rappers, I can't understand what they're saying and they're speaking a non guttural English.
Yeah.
So, like, you don't need to understand what they're saying. You can look up the lyrics if you really need to. Like, does it sound cool? Get past the lyrics. So, that's the first thing. So, they have to get past that. And I remember my journey. My journey was like 15 years to get to where I
In the
would listen to
making.
something in the
Yeah.
making. So these guys are going to come over, they're going to like some of it. I mean, my first introduction was Linkin Park, really, with Shut Up When I'm Talking to You, whatever the name of that song was.
Yeah.
That was, I remember thinking that was the coolest shit in the world the first time I heard it. And then it was Slipknot, and Korn did some stuff, but they weren't really into gutturals. But like slow burn over the course of about 15 years. So maybe 15 years from now, some of those Sleep
Well,
Token
but you
kids would
also
get
got
into
to count
Fallujah.
the fact that you were kind of out of the game for a little bit,
True.
because
Yeah.
maybe I use Sleep Token as a bad example. I'm thinking of them pulling in people who'd have absolutely no desire to listen to metal,
Yeah.
possibly bringing them to the dark side. But then you have a lot of people that just like heard Lorna Shore for the first time and had their
Yeah.
fucking minds
Now,
blown.
Lorna
So,
Shore is probably a little different. That might actually draw because there are people out there looking for more Lorna Shore type music
mhm.
that just discovered that. So, and I think you'll find if Lorna Shore is your introduction, I think that you'll find that in this genre. So it's possible.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it could lead you very well back to, you'll either go down the path of righteousness, which is Fallujah and Archspire, or you'll go down the path of darkness to fucking Booger Kid black metal.
Yeah, yeah. But I could see if Lorna Shore's your only frame of reference, Fallujah's not that much of a stretch.
No, no, not at all. All right, let's do it.
That's dope.
We'll pause it there.
No clue.
So this was released a year ago. This is a band called Surreption. The song and the album name is The Artificial North.
Interesting. Okay, I've never heard of them, but I
Yeah.
like that. That was
Yeah,
super
it was,
groovy, dude.
yeah, dude. I dug the bounce within those riffs, dude. And actually I was
Yeah.
watching the video and the video was super fucking cool, actually. Yeah, everybody go check out fucking Surreption, dude. That shit was baller.
Fuck yeah.
You know what? Strangely enough, I noticed while we were going through these videos is kind of how I noticed a lot of deathcore bands are getting scooped up by Century Media. I'm noticing a lot of these bands are belonging to either Metal Blade Records or Unique Leader.
Unique. Yeah.
Yeah, seem to be like the two that just scoop up like the death metal and tech death. And strangely enough, Cattle Decap is on Metal Blade Records. I think they've been on them with them for a while now.
Yeah.
So
And they don't automatically block YouTube videos, so that's pretty nice.
Fuck
At least they
yeah.
haven't yet.
they're like, we're
So,
trying to. They're like, Anybody, please watch. For the
Yeah.
love of God, just watch our shit.
Yeah, exactly. No, that was dope, man. That was a
Yeah.
good ender on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're about an hour and 20 minutes into it. So I'm just going to say this was our fresh baked tech death. This is us introducing, maybe if you've never listened to this genre, maybe you listen to these and caught something that you like, look up the band, go support them however you can, and tell us if there's anything we missed, something that was better,
Mm.
something. I'm looking for another Archspire type band. Send me that my way. Send us bands that we haven't heard of yet. We'll definitely go down it. We'll react to stuff because we do reactions. Like and subscribe to all of
And
our
hey,
stuff.
do we have like a fresh baked collective playlist still?
I don't know, but we can create one.
I say we create one. All the songs that we listed here and of our previous fresh bakes will be in that playlist. To give a quick recap, so the songs that I played today were Lichen by Blind Oracle was the first one, Into Embers by Allegion, then The Sinking Sun by Entheos, Autotheus Movement 2 by The Faceless. Then we had McGroover by Hung, which is spelled just Hung. Then that last one I played was The Artificial North by Surreption. If anybody's
Got it.
interested, go check those out.
Yeah, and for me, it was Lack of Comprehension by Death, Earthborn Evolution by Beyond Creation, Zagthoth by Alkaloid, Calamus Will Animate by Archspire, and then actually, I realized what I messed up. So
What'd you do?
Rivers and Nihil was correct. I played the title track, which is Where the Owls Know My Name, but I actually meant to play the song Death is Real. So I screwed it up, but it was still cool, so it doesn't matter. So check all that out.
And then Fallujah.
Oh yeah, yeah, Fallujah carved from stone.
Cool guys. Yeah, this was another successful video. We have a ton of shit out there. We do reaction videos. We do these fresh baked collectives. We'll probably release this or release it first, but we just did a review of Cattle Decapitations Terracite. Go give that a check out. The album's fucking awesome. If you haven't heard of us, we're the Super Metal Bros. I go by Solaire. My brother goes by Drop G. Give us a like and subscribe. Helps us out a ton. And we'll just continue to explore this fucking plane of heavy ass music.
Hell yeah. Word to your moms.
Later.